Alright, this will be part 2 of my Dracula review. It's in 2 parts. There's so much to say about this film, and I really love this film. Like, it's one of my favorite films of all time, so... part 2, I was talking about Keanu Reeves. Yeah. Now, a lot of people did not like Keanu Reeves in this film. Let me adjust that a little bit, because it's kind of crooked. But I thought Keanu Reeves was okay in this. He wasn't the greatest actor in this, by any means, but like Keanu has a very deadpan kind of delivery as an actor. He's very dry. There's not much emoting with him, like facial expressions. Most of it is in the eyes. But one thing I have to say, like the biggest flaw in this film, is Keanu's relationship with Mina. Keanu, of course, is Jonathan Harker, and Mina is his fiancée. They have zero chemistry in this film. It's just not convincing at all. You know, it just isn't. I mean, I can't even explain why not, but it's just... Two actors either have chemistry or they don't, and these two just really did not have chemistry as a couple in this. Whereas the chemistry between Mina and Dracula was very powerful. But with Keanu, it's just, you know, it's just no chemistry at all, really. Just doesn't work. A lot of people say he was miscast in this, and I have to say overall that I agree. He wasn't the best actor by any means, so... But he does have a couple of really great moments in this, Keanu. One of the best moments for him in the film is after he's seduced by the 3 vampire chicks. And there's a scene where Dracula breaks it up. He's like, "How dare you touch him? He belongs to me." And then that diabolical laugh Dracula gives when, you know, he's about, like, he gives this baby basically to these 3 vampire chicks, you know, so they can feed on it. And Keanu Reeves' expression of absolute horror, and then he just screams until he passes out, and when he realizes what these, you know, vampires are about to do to this child, they're about to drink the blood of this, like, little baby, you know. And he's so horrified, Keanu, that, you know, Jonathan Harker, that he's just like, he screams until he passes out, and it's, like, he's really good in that scene. Keanu Reeves, very, like, it's one of his best moments in the film. So yeah, you know, it wasn't all bad with Keanu, you know, he did have his moments, but overall, he was not really the greatest actor in this, so... Well, I think I talked about the visual style of this already. You know, it's very, very atmospheric, very theatrical. You know, the camera angles in this are, you know, really interesting. There's lots of bird's eye kind of camera angles, and lots of camera angles from really far away or really close up. There's not really a standard kind of camera angle in this, I wouldn't say. But it's very artistic, the way it's filmed. Everything is framed very carefully and interestingly. You know, and the special effects in this are really cool, especially with where Dracula is concerned. You really get the sense that he's not subject to the laws of physics the way that human beings are. Like I said, his shadow seems to move independently of his body in a lot of scenes. There's one scene where you see his shadow reaching out to strangle Jonathan. When he finds out that Jonathan, his fiancée, is the love of his life, he gets really jealous, and you know, he doesn't touch Jonathan in that scene, but he reaches, his shadow from behind the wall reaches out like it's strangling him, so... And there's lots of scenes like that, where he defies the laws of physics, Dracula. One scene he's climbing up a wall. You know, in another scene, he comes into the room, and he appears to drift across the floor towards Jonathan, and then the door just closes on its own. So it really creates this creepy atmosphere around Dracula, in the sense that he just carries a lot of power, supernatural power with him everywhere he goes. So all those effects were really, really cool, and, you know, just gave you a sense of the power that Dracula has. All the makeup is really awesome in this. Like, it won an award for Best Makeup at the Academies. All the prosthetics for Dracula, especially when he turns into the Bat and into the Beast, are absolutely amazing. Especially when he's the bat, he's like this humanoid bat. That scene is so scary. Just the way he looks and his deep rumbling kind of voice in that scene, it's just so scary. And it's one of the most believable prosthetic makeups I've ever seen. Like, to this day when you watch it, it's quite amazing. And also when he's dressed as the Beast, Dracula, he basically looks like this kind of werewolf, right? Another amazing, makeup design, all the prosthetics, and just the way he moves in that scene, Gary Oldman, he really is like a total predatory beast. And he basically, as the Beast, he has sex with and drinks the blood of Mina's best friend Lucy. So, so that part's pretty crazy too. Like I said, it's a very, very sexual movie. So if you're sensitive to sensuality that involves violence and blood drinking, then this might not be the movie for you, because there's lots of it. What else can I say about this? The musical score. I have to talk about that. This has an amazing musical score. I mean, it deserved an Academy in its own right. The music is... Half of the music in this film is unabashedly romantic and sweeping and epic. And then the other half of the music of this film is very kind of dark, and really creates a sense of dread and tension. There's lots of cellos, like really low-pitched kind of cello sounds in the score. There's lots of kind of deep sounds in the musical score. Dun 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 dun. It's very kind of just powerful, like the musical score. It's hard to explain it. You'd have to see the movie, but it really just ups the atmosphere, like, a lot. Just the music that accompanies the film, it really adds to the atmosphere, to the emotions, to the whole story. So it's a great musical score. Yeah, so I guess I should sum this movie up now. I'm not quite sure what else to say about it. It's just such an amazing film that it has such a strong sense of atmosphere. It's romantic. It's scary. It's disturbing. The scariness in it, I wouldn't say, like, there's no jump scares in it or anything like... Actually, there is one jump scare. But other than that, the movie... Most of the scariness of the film just it's psychological. Like, it just kind of messes with your head. It's this whole idea of evil and what evil is. So... It's not a horror movie in the sense that it's, lots of screams and lots of blood. Like, there is blood in it and stuff, but it's very dramatic, the film overall. Like, I would describe it almost more of a dramatic thriller than a horror film, personally. Although other people do classify it as a horror film. I see it as a dramatic thriller and romance, too. I mean, there's so much romance in this. A lot of purists might not like this film because of the love story in it. The fact that Mina and Dracula are so in love in this. But I think it's beautiful because it shows that even a man who has the worst curse on him that you could ever imagine, he cursed himself to be this vampire, that's completely disconnected from God and completely monstrous, and yet there's this part of him that's still human that falls in love with this woman. And because of their love, he's ultimately redeemed. He's set free in the end. Which I think is a wonderful way to end the film. And, there's so much tragedy in this film. So many characters die in their pursuit of Dracula. But ultimately, I think this film shows the power of love and that love can overcome evil. So... Overall, I think this film is a cinematic masterpiece. If you haven't seen it yet, you're one of the few people that hasn't. If you're a horror film fan and you love vampires, especially, you gotta see it. Like, you have to see it. It's so good. And Gary Oldman, like, more than anything, like, is just the most amazing Dracula, I think, in any film that I've ever seen. Like, I know that, oh, what's his name? The iconic guy who played him in the original films, Christopher? Oh my god, why can't I remember his name? But he's been in so many horror films. He died quite some time ago, but he was the original Dracula, and he was great in that role, you know? Christopher Lee. But I think that Gary Oldman really kicks it up a notch and brings, like, he's monstrous, but he also brings such humanity to the role, too. Like, both sides. And I think that's what, and just the fact that he goes through so many costume changes, he brings all these different personas of Dracula to life so convincingly, and just, he's just mesmerizing and fantastic in that role. So, to me, it's the best thing about the film is just watching him on the screen. So, yeah, so that's my review on Dracula. It was pretty long. I hope I didn't bore you guys too much. So, Bram Stoker's Dracula. Go out and see it. Rent it, buy it, whatever. It's fantastic. So I hope you enjoyed that review, and my next review will probably be on Kick-Ass 2. So, catch you guys later. Good night.